You built an app in 3 days. You used AI to write every line. You pressed deploy without reading the code. 14 million people did the same thing last year. Most of them got lucky. You are not about to hear their story. You are not a developer. You have never written a single line of code. You are 28 years old. You manage expenses for a 12-person logistics company. The job pays $51,000 a year. Remember that number. Every Friday, you move numbers between 4 different spreadsheets. None of the tools talk to each other. You copy a figure from one tab, you paste it into another, you check the total, you do it again. You have done this exact task 214 times, 3 hours every single week. That is 642 hours of your life. A machine could do it in seconds. You know this, you just do not know how to build the machine. In January, you read a thread on Reddit. Someone built an internal tool using Claude. No programming degree, no boot camp, no prior experience with anything that runs in a terminal. They described what they wanted in plain sentences. The AI produced every line of the code. The tool replaced a $40,000 piece of enterprise software. The thread had 4,200 upvotes. You read every comment. You close the thread at 11:47 p.m. You open a new tab. You write your first prompt at 11:52. That is where the story begins. The AI builds it in 6 prompts. You ask for a login page. It appears. You ask for an expense form. It appears. You ask it to store the data. It does. You do not understand what the code says. You understand what it does. That distinction is going to matter. You show it to your manager on a Thursday. She approves it for the 9-person team. That afternoon, the spreadsheet stays closed for 11 consecutive Fridays. You built the thing that replaced your own worst task. 11 weeks of 3 hours each, 33 hours back. That is real. That is not a small thing. It matters. The question is not whether the app worked. It worked. The question is what you never thought to ask the AI. You did not ask it how the data was stored. You did not ask who could access it. You did not ask what happens if someone looks directly at the database from outside the app. You did not ask it to protect the data. You did not know you needed to. That is not a gap in your character. It is a gap in what nobody told you. Your manager suggests sharing it publicly. Other small businesses have the same problem. You agree. You post it on Reddit on a Monday morning. By Wednesday, 400 people have downloaded it. By Friday, 2,200. You watch the number climb from your phone during your lunch break. You have never built anything before. You have never had users before. The word users now applies to you. That feels like something. You add a hosted version so people do not need to self-install. You use a platform that makes this simple. 2 prompts, done. You do not read the API documentation. You do not know there is anything in it to read. You do not know what an API endpoint is. Not really, not in the way that would have helped you here. By March, 50,000 people are using your app. Their names are in your database. Their company emails are in your database. Some have connected their bank export files. Some have stored payroll records. Some have uploaded documents with employee names and salaries. None of them know the database has no password on the API endpoint. None of them asked, why would they? They trusted the interface. Interfaces look the same whether they are secure or not. You do not know this either. That is the part that will matter. On March 14th, a security researcher named David emails you. The subject line reads, Responsible Disclosure, Exposed API Endpoint. You have never heard the phrase responsible disclosure. You read 4 words of the subject line, you think it is spam, you delete it. Stay with me because this is where it gets precise. David found your open API endpoint in 4 minutes. Using a single terminal command any 14-year-old can run, he typed your app's URL into a tool. The tool listed every route your app exposes. One of those routes returned your entire database. No login required, no token required, nothing required. Your entire database was readable to anyone who ran that command. Every name, every email, every password, stored in plain text, not encrypted, not hashed, plain text. The word for that is negligence, but you did not know the word yet. You thought it was spam. David waited 72 hours for your response. You did not respond. He sent a follow-up email on day 4, same inbox, same silence. He waited 14 more days. Industry standard for responsible disclosure is 30. He published his findings publicly on day 16. The question is not whether David was patient. The question is what happened while you were not reading your email. Someone else found the endpoint before David published. They found it 9 days before you deleted David's email. They were not a security researcher. They were not trying to help you. They downloaded your entire database in 3 minutes, 50,000 records. exported as a clean spreadsheet, posted to a Telegram channel with 18,000 members. The post included a preview, real names, real emails, real passwords, and readable text, your users' passwords, the same passwords many of them use for their bank accounts. Your app appears on the front page of Hacker News, not for the reason you imagined. The headline, Popular Expense Tool Exposes 50K Users in Plain Text Breach. The top comment has 800 upvotes. It says, the passwords are stored in plain text. This is not a mistake. This is negligence. You read that comment at 7:14 a.m. standing in your kitchen. You do not finish your coffee. Here is where this lands. Those 50,000 people gave you their data because they trusted the thing you built. They did not know you built it in 6 prompts. They did not know you had never read the code. They did not know the word plain text. They just needed a simpler way to track their expenses. They were doing exactly what you were doing at the beginning of this story, trying to solve a small problem, trusting the tool in front of them. The FTC opens an inquiry 6 days after the Hacker News post. The phrase they use is unfair or deceptive practices. The fine structure is $50,120 per violation. You have 50,000 violations. You do not finish calculating that number out loud. David's original email is in the FTC discovery file. The one you deleted. Your provider retains deleted messages for 90 days. You deleted it March 14th. The FTC requested records on June 3rd. The email is there, time-stamped, read receipt showing you opened it for 4 seconds, then closed it, then deleted it. Your lawyer presents 2 options, settle for $1.2 million or contest it, and face the per violation calculation. You look at both numbers for a long time. Your lawyer does not look at you while you read. She has seen this face before. You signed the settlement on a Thursday morning. The same day of the week you showed your manager the app for the first time. That is not a coincidence. That is a mirror. You still build software. You are building something right now, different this time. You hired a security engineer before writing your first prompt. Her name is Maya. Her annual salary is $94,000. That is the price of what you did not know. You think about that number every month when you sign her paycheck. You think, this is the right number. This is what knowing costs. She reviews every AI-generated line before it touches a database. She asks questions you still do not fully understand. You have stopped pretending you do. That is also different this time. You do not deploy on the same day you build. You wait, you ask, you read, not all of it, but enough. What if every one of those 50,000 users had done the same thing you did? Built something, pressed deploy, not known what they were putting at risk? That is not a hypothetical. That is the state of the internet right now. 14 million apps were built with AI assistance last year. Most of them were not security audited. Most of them are still running. Some of them have your data in them right now. Here is the reframe. You did not set out to harm anyone. The harm happened anyway. That is not a paradox. That is a definition. Intention and impact are different measurements. Most people were taught they are the same. They are not. That is not about you specifically. That is about every person who built something this year without knowing what they built, which is most of them, which might be you right now reading this. The question is not whether you should have known. The question is what you build next, and whether knowing what you know now actually changes the answer. Drop your honest answer in the comments. I read every single one. The conversation there is worth having. Subscribe. The next video pulls on a thread. This one is the introduction.